Kiara, and it has been so long since I've said that. As y'all can see, a few things have changed. I got a new haircut. I'm also starting college in the fall. I haven't been infected with coronavirus, so everything's been solid so far. Except for the fact that I've been slacking so hard on YouTube and TikTok, and I hate it. But I am back! For today's video, it's going to be more of a serious one, probably a longer one, but it's going to be my most important video I will ever make. And it's going to be just explaining my journey dealing with alopecia for what seems like forever. So yeah, if you want to come along and listen to me talk about this ride, then please keep on watching. I have alopecia areata. Alopecia is an autoimmune disease where your immune system attacks your hair follicles, and in result, your hair falls out. Aside from losing my hair and my shitty immune system, I am perfectly healthy and there's nothing wrong with me. Alopecia is actually a lot more common than most people think. About 6.8 million people in the United States and 147 million people worldwide have or will be affected with alopecia areata at some point in their life. And that is just a ridiculous amount of people that have to deal with this shitty ass disease. There is no cause to this. There's no reason behind it. It really is just shitty luck that you get stuck with this disease. Also, there's no cure for it. So fun, right? Every single person that deals with this has a different experience, but we're obviously going to talk about mine. So when I was 9 years old, I was a competitive cheerleader, and my hair was always, pulled back in a ponytail and slicked back really tight. And we found 2 round bald spots right here. We thought it was just due to the pullings, but we went to the doctor anyway, and she said, stop putting it up, leave it down for a while, no tugging. So I did what I was told, and they grew right back in, not a problem. So we kind of thought that was the end of that. So we didn't have any other problems with it until the summer before 7th grade. So I was 12. I was actually with Selena, and she noticed that I had a pretty big bald spot on the back of my head. I told my parents, but we weren't really worried about it because we had dealt with this before. So we thought it would just grow right back in, but it didn't. It got worse and worse and worse, and I just kept losing hair. So we finally went to the doctor, and I got diagnosed with alopecia areata. That's also the first time that I ever got blood work done, and now blood work is like a monthly thing, and I hate blood work, but we didn't know at the time how severe it was going to be or how extensive, and my doctor really didn't have any answers because nobody really knew much about this disease. So there was really no answers, and we didn't really do anything right away. I just kind of went on living with it. My hair kept falling out, and it was to the point where I couldn't style it in any way because you could see these massive spots. I didn't like going to school because it made me so uncomfortable. I was also cheerleading at the time, so I kind of didn't want to do anything anymore. I don't know, it was embarrassing and I hated it. Being a teenager already sucks ass, and everybody will agree. And being not even 13 and going bald was hell. I wasn't bullied. I was never bullied, but there were comments that were made, and I was fragile at the time. Like, they would say stuff to my friends. They would make comments to them, or they would whisper in the hallway. Nobody would ever say anything to me, but everything would always get back to me. And I pretended like I didn't care, and then I brushed it off my shoulders. But I was young, and I did care, and it really did suck. I decided to wear a wig. In some ways, I'm glad that I wore a wig, but from where I am now, I kind of wish I never put the wig on in the first place. I remember wig shopping. It was so weird, but it was definitely fun, but it was sad at the same time. I didn't want to have to be shopping for a wig. But I also remember going back to school and just like the comments and everybody loved it, and it made me feel so much better that my wig definitely became my shield and I used it to hide. I was wearing all different types of wigs, but none were like really good. And then we found the hair club, and they give away wigs to children for free because they make so much money from the men and women, that I got these gorgeous, long, voluminous wigs that I loved, and they made me feel beautiful. It was just the most amazing thing. They do such incredible things for kids, and I am so lucky that I found them. The wigs stick down with double-sided tape, so I could live a somewhat normal life with them. Underneath those amazing wigs that I wore for so long, I was still losing my hair in very quickly, and by December of that year, it was almost completely gone. There was only like a few strands, so we decided to shave my head and give me that Mr. Clean look. So my family, we piled into my bathroom and we shaved my head that day. That was such a strange day, and I remember looking in the mirror and not really recognizing myself because it was so crazy, but I can say that I have a very nice shaped head, so that was nice. And we all made a joke of to like rub my head for good luck, so we kept it lighthearted even though that was a pretty strange day. My family and friends were definitely my rocks through this entire situation. To my family, you didn't really have a choice but to be there for me, but I'm glad you were anyway. To all my friends who stuck with me through it all, I have so much love for each and every one of you, and you know who you are. I'm so thankful. You guys are the reason that I got through school and life every single day, so bless y'all. Cheerleading, on the other hand, was still so difficult because competitive cheerleading was no joke, but with the double-sided tape on the wig, I got to continue cheering for so long, which was amazing. Pushed through. My team became my literal family during that time, and actually when we went to Myrtle Beach one year, I was so sad I wouldn't be able to swim underwater like I used to, so everybody at the gym decided to wear swim caps so I wouldn't feel left out wearing one. And people at the gym who didn't even know me because I was so young at the time still wore these swim caps, and I just remember feeling so loved, and it was amazing. My coaches were amazing. Everyone there was amazing. It was definitely a family, and they never treated me any different. My life did continue on, but it did feel like I was holding back in some ways, so we decided to try to do something. I probably tried every single oral and topical drug you could try, and not one of them worked even a little bit. So I feel like it was more depressing than anything because every time something didn't work, it was stripping away any hope that I did have for regrowing my hair. I started visiting more doctors and dermatologists, and they all sort of said the same thing, that they didn't know much. They weren't sure if it was going to grow back. We could try all these things, but there was no guarantee anything was going to work. So it was sort of a lot of nothing. One doctor in particular, the last doctor that I ever saw, broke me. He inspected my head and he said the same things that all of the other doctors said. He also said that my hair would probably never grow back and I should just learn to live with it. This man looked me in the eyes, a little 14-year-old girl, and said, "Just be happy you still have your eyelashes and eyebrows." That was it. No more doctors, no more pills, no more topicals, no more trying. I was done. And what makes this even greater is not even 2 months later and I lost all my eyebrows and eyelashes. I didn't grow a lot of hair on my body, so I guess that was a plus, but losing my eyelashes and eyebrows, it definitely made me look and feel sick for the first time. I eventually started drawing on my eyebrows and putting on false lashes. I was 15 years old and I was wearing a wig and false lashes every single day just to feel the way that everybody else does when they wake up in the morning. Ninth grade was rough. I almost dropped out. My mom almost let me drop out. That's how bad it was. It was such a low point, and many people may think that I was being dramatic and I was healthy, not dying, but you were not in my shoes. You don't know what I was going through. You don't know what it's like to not have hair. And it pisses me off more than anything when people say it's just hair. Okay, let me shave your head and your eyebrows and pluck out your lashes and make you go on with life and see how you do, because it's not an easy thing to do. Finding dance definitely kept me in school that year. That was the only reason I continued going to school that year. I'm pretty sure that's the only reason I graduated. But I know so much of this sounds negative and like I hated my life, but that's not true. My life by no means sucked. I had a great life growing up. My parents definitely overcompensated for me not having hair, but hey, I'm not complaining. It was hard disease to live with because yes, on the outside I looked fine, but underneath that wig I was losing my hair, and it would grow back, and it would grow back to the point where it almost covered my whole head, and then within a few months it would fall right back out again. That was probably the hardest part, was because you could see the hope in everybody, and you could see the excitement, and you could see the light in my eyes that it's growing back, just to have it gone again. It got so great. I would bet my cousin that my hair could grow longer than his and quicker, and then all of a sudden it would be gone again. It was so hard after all that time, and you have this hope that it's gonna grow back and it just falls out again. But I lived with it. I went to school with it. I danced with it. I cheered with it. I worked with it. I hated it, but I dealt with it. Most of the time, I sort of pretended like I didn't have alopecia because I didn't look like it on the outside, and that worked for me. Going to college was always the plan. It wasn't forced on me. I always wanted to go to college. So when I decided not to go to college, I knew I needed to do something because I hated myself for being a coward and not going. I stopped living my life, and no one should ever be like this. I definitely did not like who I was becoming. So me and my mom had been following studies for a while, for like a few years at that point. We found Dr. Brett King, who is a dermatologist, who is an expert in alopecia areata, and who is conducting trials through Yale University. I emailed him and he responded. He told me later that he never responds to emails because he's so busy all the time, but he did, so I sort of felt like this was supposed to happen, and that, I don't know, it was meant to be in some way. My mom had previously emailed somebody about this trial and never got a response, but because of her emailing and because of me getting in contact with Dr. King, I got accepted into my very first clinical trial. I was the very last person accepted into that particular trial on April 3rd of 2018, and my very first visit was 2 days later on April 5th of 2018, and that visit would definitely change my life. I was definitely terrified going into this first appointment in this trial because I had not seen a doctor for alopecia in so long since, Dr. Asshole broke my heart and traumatized me that day. But meeting King was the complete opposite. He devoted so much time and energy into a disease that most people overlook because we are healthy. But on that very first visit, one of the very first things that he said to me was, "I want you to know that it is not just hair." Composing myself. I'm done crying because mama didn't raise no bitch. This whole time, I just wanted somebody besides my family, besides my friends, besides anybody close to me to to get that, this does take such a toll on your mental health, and it's not just hair. It's not like, yeah, I just lost my hair. It's definitely something serious, and he took it seriously. Dr. King made the whole thing so comfortable, and he is such an amazing doctor and an amazing person, and I'm so grateful for that first trial. So grateful. The trial was for a modified drug, and you could either get a placebo, a low dosage, or a high dosage, so it wasn't even 100% chance that I was going to get the drug, but we are pretty sure I did because my hair started growing back and it started lasting. My visits were with Dr. King each time, and I could see just how excited he was, and he was just as excited as I was as my hair is growing back, and that felt amazing for him to get it, to understand, to be so happy for me. My first trial ended in October of 2018, and we were supposed to find a way for either my insurance company or the pharmaceutical company through the trial to get me a different drug that is similar to this one to stay on. That didn't work out. My insurance company rejected it because they wouldn't pay for it because this was a cosmetic issue. That is such a bullshit excuse, but they did reject it, and I didn't get the drug, and I did go down that road again, and I lost all of my hair once again. I didn't talk about this. Losing hair is the worst. You don't want to shower because you're pulling out clumps. You wake up in the morning and there's clumps on your pillow. It's just everywhere, and it's so sad to see it get worse and worse and worse. And I didn't think that I was ever going to have to go through this again, yet here we were. I was so depressed and so angry, but Dr. King made it work, and I got accepted into a second of his trials. This trial that I am currently in is a lot different than the first one. Everybody gets the actual drug in this one. It's more of a progressional study to see the effects, the long-term effects of the drug. So I will be in this trial until this drug is approved and available. So there is no losing it this time, and there's no losing my hair, there's no getting the drug taken away, and it is just an amazing feeling. Everybody involved with that trial is amazing, especially Rebecca, who did everything for me. All my blood work, all my ECGs, all my vitals for both trials. So I've gotten very close with her, and I'm just blessed for everybody involved in that trial. So this is my progress. I had no hair at the start of the trial in March of 2019, so 1 year later, and this is where we are, and we are without the wig. It really never seemed like a possibility. I didn't believe that this day would ever come, but this drug has done so much. It gave me hair, it gave me eyebrows, it gave me eyelashes, it gave me body hair, which I am not a fan of. That could have stayed away, but I can't complain. I'm just really not used to having arm hair anymore. I haven't had arm hair in a long time. But this drug also, it legit boosts your immune system. I have really bad asthma, and I always have, and really bad allergies, and I can't tell you the last time that I used my inhaler or taken allergy meds because it kind of fixes everything. It's incredible what it has done for me. Also, I have curls. So obviously I haven't had my natural hair in a long time, but I never had curls. My mom has curls, my dad has curls, my brother has curls. I've never had curls, but I'm definitely loving them. So we'll see if they last or not. My first day without my wig was March 8th, 2020. And that day I wore my wig all day. And I was just, it wouldn't stick down right. It really looked like shit. I was so irritated and annoyed all day that I was done with it. And my mom encouraged me so much that I decided to finally go without. It was terrifying leaving the house for the first time without it because it has been 8 years since my head has, you know, been free outside, and since I've left without my shield. It was crazy. But I am so happy to be done with it. I was so just irritated, and that's what pushed me over the edge, and I'm so happy that that day happened because we're here. To everybody who, when I posted that first video on Snapchat, who has reached out and said how amazing it looks and how happy you are, the comments just made me feel so good, and I love every single one of you. People who I haven't spoken to in years, people who didn't know about it, who just think this is a haircut, people who did know and you've been there the whole time to see this progress. All of you guys reaching out has meant the world to me, and I love all of you so much. I'm so grateful to have such amazing people in my life and who have stuck by me for so long, even if I pushed most of you away during this process. You're still there, and I appreciate it so much. So for a while, I have been making a post-alopecia bucket list for when the wig came off, and now that, you know, she's gone, I'm so excited to start checking things off this list and really just beginning to live my life. I've been like hiding and in this dark hole for so long that it's so exciting. We're definitely starting a new chapter, and I'm really looking forward to it. I hate that I had to have hair to do all of this because I wanted to, but I've been a coward. So I'm sad that it had to be because of the hair, but I'm happy regardless because I am doing it. Before this video ends, there are 2 people in particular that I am so thankful for. My brother, Jesus, thank you so much for roasting me every single day of my existence. And coming up with the most creative shit. You've definitely kept this whole situation very, you know, entertaining and very lighthearted, and you always kept a smile on my face even during this shitty ass journey. And Mama, thank you so much. I wouldn't be in this trial if it wasn't for you. You bring me 2 hours there and 2 hours back every single month without complaint or calling me an inconvenience, even though I know you think it. You've brought me to all of my appointments since the day I lost my hair. You used to clean and put on my wigs for me until I finally learned to do it myself. You've supported me and stood by me. You've encouraged me to go without my wig, and it's because of you that I am, and I'm sitting here making this video. You've been through every single day of this disease with me. You're the only one who truly knows what it's really been like for me, and I just appreciate you so much, and I love you both so much. So yeah, that happened. I really don't like talking about this. I never have. Alopecia has always been such a private part of my life that I don't like to share with people if I don't have to. I hate this disease, and I am so sorry to any and everyone who has to deal with this. Some people are so strong and embrace it, and others, I know you are just like me and you just hate it and are hiding it from everybody. If you are hiding, definitely talk to people who are dealing with it. Join a Facebook group, because that's what I did, and I love seeing all of these people who are dealing with the exact same thing that I have been dealing with, and just how they deal with it, and the encouragement and the positivity has been amazing. So definitely do that. I guess I can't completely hate this disease because I got to meet Joe Girardi in New York City with a bunch of other CAP kids. I got to meet Dr. King and be part of a clinical trial to hopefully help others just like me someday. So that's amazing. You know, I got content from my YouTube channel. But yeah, you know, for the most part, I still hate it so much. Thank you all so much for watching this video. This was definitely a hard video to make. Like I said, I don't like talking about it, and this will probably be the last time I talk about it because I'm not a fan. But I'm definitely glad that I did share this with all of you. If you did enjoy this video, enjoy talking and learning a little bit more about me, then definitely give it a like. If you want to see me a little bit more, all my social media will be listed down below in the description, so you can follow that. Thank you all again just for listening. Yeah, until next time.